Hello, internet. You're a little crooked. Let me fix you. I think you're okay. I had every intention, you guys, of coming on here. I'm shooting videos today for my membership site and for a bunch of my courses, and I had every intention of coming on here today, like with my hair done and my makeup done, looking all cute, but that's not how life goes, right? So I was walking the dog, and I just had this like insight that I needed to come share with you guys right now. I feel like you guys are the only people that will understand this. So let me tell you, hold on, let me get my dog. Hold on one moment. Come here, bud. You gotta go in, go in. So, okay, let me tell you guys this story. So I was walking the dog. This all started, gosh, maybe the beginning of this year. I had this idea. I was like, I wanna write a book, but I don't know what the book is, right? And so by May, I still didn't know what the book was, and I had kind of had it in the back of my mind, but I was like, no, I really want to write a book. Like, I really want to write a book. I feel like I'm supposed to write a book. I'm ready to write the book. So May is my birthday, and I always spend the day like setting really powerful intentions, calling in what I want, casting a freaking vision, right? Doing all the things. So this sounds dramatic, but this is this is like literally what I did. So I was at the beach, right? Writing in my journal, calling it all in, visioning, doing all the things. And I swam out in the ocean. The beach is like sacred to me, like first of all, because I grew up on the beach and it's the beach. It's awesome. And I love it there, and it's peaceful, and it's a very spiritual place for me. So anyway, I swam out in the ocean. I swam out past the break. I was like floating on my back in the ocean. And I was just like, God, like, I'm ready to write the book. I want the book idea. Let's do this. Let's go. I'm ready. And I just set the intention that the idea was going to come easily, that it was going to come to me completely, that it was already going to be done, right? And I let it go. I just like let it go. I didn't go and like, I'm not telling you guys not to do this, but this didn't feel right to me. If this felt right to me, you know, I could have went in my office and sat down and brainstormed and wrote and like been like, what is the book? What is the book? What is the book? And there's some times when I do that, but most of the time the answer is almost always to just surrender and trust that it's coming, right? So I just surrendered it to God. I was like, I need you to figure out this book idea. Bring it to me when it's done. Bring it to me whole. Bring it to me complete, you know, and then I'll do it. And I just let it go, right? And I've used this analogy before, but I think this process works so well for me because it's like, you know, when you can't remember something, you can't remember someone's name or something like that, and you're trying to remember it, and you're like, what is that person's name? What is that person's name? What is that person's name? I know what it is. What is it? And you can't think of it. And the more you focus on it, it's like the more you block it out, right? And then later in the night, you're like doing the dishes, and you're like, oh, like Jane, like duh, like of course that's her name. And it just kind of pops into your head. That's how my ideas feel, right? So when I sit down, if I had sat down and been like, what is the book? What is the book? What is the book? It's almost like I like squeeze off the creative, inspired, divine part of my brain. And when I surrender and let go, it pops up just like remembering that name. It's like, oh, like I know what it is. Like I know what the course is. I know what the whole book is, right? Like I know what it is. I have a whole vision for it, right? And so I was just walking. And so that was in May. So this is the thing that I really want to say about this. It's like, you have to be willing to surrender the timeline. And that's where people get messed up, right? Because if I had been like, oh my God, I asked God to bring me the book idea and it's not coming, and I don't know if it'll ever come, and what if I never know what the book is, and what if I don't ever do it, and so-and-so has a book already, and she already has 5 books, and I don't have any books, right? That's when it gets messed up. That is not surrender, right? Surrender is letting go. Surrender is that certainty, right? It's that certainty piece that I always talk to you guys about, where it's like, I know the book idea is coming. I know my success is inevitable, right? I talk to you guys about that all the time. It's the same thing with like ideas. I know the book is coming. I'm certain. And when you're certain, you can afford to wait and wait without anxiety, right? If you know the book idea is coming, you don't have to be worried about what someone else is doing. You don't have to be worried that it's never coming. You don't have to be anxious, right? I'm certain. I know the book idea is coming. The perfect book idea is coming at the perfect time. I know that, right? And I choose to surrender and believe and lean into that. And so that was in May. So this is June, July, August, like almost September at this point, right? That was like months ago. And I just like, every once in a while I would be journaling, and I would kind of like think about it a little bit. I'd be like, okay, like I'm calling in the book, the perfect book idea is coming at the perfect time, whatever. But I just kind of put it in the back of my mind and chose to focus on other projects. And then today I was walking the dog, And as I was walking him, it just popped into my head, like out of nowhere. Like, just like I said earlier, it's just like, you know, it just all of a sudden was there, and it was whole and it was complete. And I was like, I know what the book is. I know what all the chapters are. I know where I'm going to promote it. I know how I'm going to talk about it. I know what it's going to sound like, right? And this is one other tip I'm going to give you about this. So the other thing I do when I'm doing this is this. I don't really know how to explain this. I'm going to try and explain this the best I can. But I will think about what I want the project to feel like. So if there is a course, if there is a book I want to write, if there's something I want to make, I'll think about what it's going to feel like to create it, what it's going to feel like when people take it, what the energy is behind it, right? And I'll hold that feeling. And I had a really intense feeling for this book, and I had no idea what it was going to be about, but I knew, I was like, it's going to feel like an explosion. It's going to feel like it's going to blow people's minds. It's going to blow my own mind when I write it. It's going to come out like boom, like an explosion, like big, right? And that was the energy I was holding for this book. I was like, I don't know what it is, right? I surrendered the outcome and the details of it, and I was just like, I know the perfect idea is coming at the perfect time, and I know it's gonna feel freaking explosive, right? And I was holding that energy in my body, like for an explosive, not just like, oh, I just want a book idea, but I want an idea that's gonna like blow people's minds, right? I was really setting that intention and holding that intention and holding that feeling in my body of like, I know what this program is, right? I did this with my last course, Awakening. Someone was posed, that's like for my mental health site. But I was like, I want this course to feel like when people take it, that they feel like a different person. Like, you know, and that was the intention I set for that course. And so, I don't know, that really helps me with my work. I know I don't work, I feel like, or give you guys the same advice like other bloggers give you, but that really helps me, right? Hold the feeling. I want my book to feel like boom, right? Explosive. And I was really holding that energy. And then once I had that energy, I was like, I know the idea is coming. It's coming at the perfect time. I don't have to worry about it. It's safe for me to wait for the idea and wait without anxiety. I know it's coming. I'm certain of the outcome. And then, you know, and then it all worked out. And so I just wanted to tell you guys that story in case it helps you, in case you're feeling stuck. And it's okay to like do things different. The other thing is like, I come on here and tell you guys kind of the things that I do, not because I think I have everything figured out or like I have the answers, because I don't. But I think there's a lot of information and people talking about the same stuff with online businesses, and I don't do things that way. And it's not about you doing it the way I do it. It's just about do it the way that works for you, right? Like, I've never heard anybody like say like, oh, swim out in the ocean, surrender your book idea. Like, it will come, trust it will come, right? Stand in certainty. That's just what works for me. So this is about like you doing what works for you. And I take advice from people, like, trust me, like you guys know I take every course, like take advice from people, but it's safe for you to be different, and it's safe for you to have a process that looks different, that sounds different, that's different than anything you've ever heard. And it's safe for you to follow that and to do things that look crazy to other people. There's lots of things that I've done in my business that business coaches have told me not to, that my family told me I was freaking crazy, right? Those are always the best decisions, right? Because I knew in my heart that it was the right thing. When people are telling you that something is wrong, like don't do that, that's not the right choice, and your heart's still calling you, that's when you know you're like, oh, this is about to like be really good, because I know that this is the right thing, right? So it's safe for you to trust yourself. It's safe for you to do things differently. It's safe for you to try different processes. There's no right way to success, right? There's so many different routes, and this can look all different ways. And, you know, for me, a lot of times it's like walking outside and like saying prayers and looking up and like asking for guidance and asking the universe, right? And that's not like business advice that I hear like often, but it works for me, right? It works for me, and I know it will continue to work for me. And maybe it will work for you and maybe it won't, but my point is that there is something that will work for you, and it might not look how you think it will look, right? Like, I didn't think when I started my business I would be swimming out in the ocean like looking at the sky and saying prayers, right? That's not what I was like thinking when I was like, how am I going to run my business? But that is how I run my business, and that is how I find success, right? Because I'm willing to be guided, and I'm willing to take action and follow what my heart and my soul and the universe are telling me to do. So anyway, I see you guys on here. Hey guys, okay, I have to get off of here. I'm so sweaty. I'm gonna go get like nice looking and like, you know, record videos for my courses. I can't look like this. I have to look like a professional sometimes, I guess. But anyway, I just told this whole story about my book idea. So go watch the replay. Let me know if it's helpful. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys have tried anything similar. Let me know what you guys are stuck on. I might try to make a couple more videos this weekend. So if anybody's struggling, if you're like really in it, if you want a pep talk, I'm feeling very like in a pep talk vibe. So if you need like a pep talk, like you're feeling down, let me know and I'll give you a pep talk. Let me know what's going on. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you have a great day. Bye.